Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. My name's Mariella, and my channel is In the Kitchen with Mariella. Hey, today we are going to be making one of my grandmother's favorite things to eat. So come on, let's get started. Okay, so I got a pan of water here that's coming up to a boil. I'm going to add a half a cup of macaroni to it. And I'm just making a little bit of this. That's why I only used a half a cup of macaroni. And then I got a can of fire roasted diced tomatoes. I'm going to open that up and put it in this other pot. When my fingers don't want to work, I get out the tools. So I got a little saucepan back here, and I'm going to turn it on to heat up the tomatoes. Now here is the funny part. Because last night when I went to bed, I had no idea what I was cooking today. Didn't have a clue. And I had this dream. And the only thing I remember about this whole dream is my grandma was there, and my grandma asking me to make her some macaroni and tomatoes. So when I got up this morning, I said, I know what I'm cooking today. We're going to have macaroni and tomatoes. So that's how this came about. Now I have another story for you about these macaroni and tomatoes. Back in mid-1980s, my grandmother lived with my mom and my sister and my brother-in-law. And my sister came home from work one day, and one of the girls that she works with came over also. And she comes in the house, and we're all just sitting around just talking and stuff. And my grandmother was eating a bowl of macaroni and tomatoes, and my mom was sitting at the table eating macaroni with butter and salt and pepper on it. Now the girl never said nothing, and she stayed an hour, hour and a half, and then she left. And a couple hours later, she comes back, and she come in the house, and she said, Mary, she said, I need you to unload my car. And I said, okay, what's in it? And she said, just go bring them bags of groceries in here. So our family room was right off of our kitchen, and that's where everybody sit, was in the family room. And she comes in, and she tells my mom and my sister, she said, I don't want to hear a word. And I'm carrying in these bags of groceries. And my sister says, what's all this? And she said, well, I can't see anybody going hungry. She said, so I went to the grocery store and I spent $250 to buy you guys some groceries because I can't see you all going hungry. And we all started laughing. And she said, what are you laughing about? And my sister said, we don't go hungry in this house. She said, come here and I'll show you. So she took her out to the garage because that's where our deep freeze was. She took her out to the garage and opened up the deep freeze and showed her that our deep freezer was jam-packed. Then they came back in the house and she said, now I'm going to show you something else. So she took her to our basement. And we had shelves lined up in our basement. And all the canned goods that my mom, the green beans and tomato juice and tomatoes and stuff that my mom had canned was on the shelves. And then we had cases and cases of canned vegetables that she would buy at the grocery store, plus a 50-pound bag of potatoes sitting there. And my sister said, what made you think we were out of food? And she said, because nobody just eats macaroni and tomatoes or macaroni with butter and salt and pepper on it. She said, I thought that was the only thing you guys had in your house to eat. And we all laughed. It was so funny. So my sister told her, she said, well, you have to take this food home. She said, because as you see, we don't need it. And she told my sister, she said, no, you're keeping it. She said, because I'm single and I'll never eat all this food. She said, so you're keeping it. And my sister said, well, let me pay for it. And she said, you can give me $100 and we'll call it even. She said, because I'm so embarrassed that I literally thought y'all were in here starving. And my sister said, no, we're not starving. She said, my grandmother just loves macaroni and tomatoes. And my mom eats macaroni with butter and salt and pepper on it. But yeah, that was so funny. But my mom would make a big pot of macaroni and tomatoes and keep it in the refrigerator. Because my grandmother would eat this stuff. If you let her, she would eat it every day of the week. But my mom wouldn't let her because my grandmother was a diabetic. And when my grandmother would eat it, she would eat the macaroni and tomatoes and then put a tablespoon of sugar on top of them. So my mom had to limit how many times a week she could eat them. But yeah. Some good old memories. Okay, well, I'll bring you guys back when the macaronis get done. Okay, guys, our macaroni's done. So I'm going to drain it. Then I'm going to add some of these tomatoes to it. Along with the juice. Add some salt. And some pepper. And there you have it. Grandma's favorite dish. Macaroni and tomatoes with a slice of buttered bread. So let's give it a try. Now here's the funny part. As a kid, I didn't like this. But that's because she always put a ton of sugar on it. Not bad. Tastes really good. Especially with these fire roasted tomatoes. Oh yeah, this is good. I could see why Grandma liked it. It's got good flavor. I can't see putting all that sugar on it though. So I want to thank you all for watching this video. This recipe, the whole recipe, will be in the description box below. As always, remember to like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, leave a comment, and share my video. I would appreciate it. If you want to help support the channel, there is a link to mine and Buddy's Amazon wishlist and our PayPal account in the description box below. And give Grandma's dish a try. I think you guys will like it. As always, remember, don't let anyone steal your sunshine or your smile. Have a good day. Bye-bye, guys.